Today I'm going to show you how I make these realistic vegan eggshells using the cheapest mold that I could find on Amazon. I am going to get started on the chocolate shells for our eggs. To do that, we're going to need our egg molds. Got 2 of them here. Vegan white chocolate. Okay, before we go any further, what I'm using right now is not actually white chocolate. It is candy melts, okay? So keep that in mind. I'm using vegan candy melts. It is not technically white chocolate. Ready? Okay, let's continue. Which I have a little bit of it here. And I'm gonna need a little bit more. And this is just the Walmart brand of the Free From white chocolate chips. These are the best ones that I have found. They've got the best vegan white chocolate that I have found anywhere. The best tasting, the best texture, etc., etc. I'm going to pop this into the microwave, 30-second increments. After every 30 seconds, I'm going to stir just until everything is melted, and then we're done. We don't want to burn this. While that's in the microwave, I'm going to get some parchment paper. The parchment paper I'm going to set it down, fill these cavities up with white chocolate, and then I'm going to put this upside down on the rack. The parchment paper is going to catch all of the melted chocolate that falls, so that I don't waste it and I can reuse it. So this is the rack I'm gonna put here, just like that. And then once these go upside down, they go like this. And then once it sets, we'll be able to pop the eggshells out. These will melt fast. Even if you look and they don't look like they are melted, you're still gonna wanna give it a stir, just to make sure that they didn't hold their shape even though they're melted. Doesn't make sense, but trust me, that's what happens. They're gonna go in for another 30 seconds now. I can feel the bowl is getting really hot on the bottom. Oh yeah, it's nice and melty. Stir it really well to make sure that it doesn't overheat and you don't get pockets of really hot chocolate in there that will scorch in the microwave. You want to make sure you stir, get everything mixed really well. There are still some chips in there that haven't melted, so I am going to pop it back in the microwave for another, I'm going to do 10 seconds this time, and we'll see how that fares. Yeah, it's really thinning out now. I think we're done with the microwave. Just got to stir it until all those last bits of chocolate melt completely. That is nice and smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and pour it into the chocolate molds. chocolate. gets messy. All right, so I've got 6 cavities filled here. I'm gonna pick it up and move the chocolate around. Would probably be easier if I did it on here to coat the inside of the mold. Go all the way around. You're gonna have to go all the way up to the edge. Now I'm going to flip it upside down. Pour all that chocolate out. I just want a little bit of chocolate in there, a very thin shell. All right, that's looking pretty good in there. I'm gonna scrape the excess chocolate off of the edge, and I'll use a little spatula to do it. I'm gonna make sure that I get chocolate on any spots that look like they're a bit thin, because the last thing I want is for my eggshell to actually melt from coming in contact with the white and the yolk that I have inside. I got a bubble. There, I popped it. Another bubble. Popped that one. Okay. I'll give this a good swipe and clean. Sort of, kind of. And then flip this upside down again for any bits that want to escape. And I'm gonna leave that for about 15 minutes. My house is about 72 degrees. Hopefully by then my chocolate will have solidified, and I'll come back and check it. Give it a little bit longer if it needs to have it. I'll be right back. Okay, it's been a few minutes now, and the chocolate underneath at least is nice and firm. So I'm assuming that our chocolate in the silicone mold is now firm as well. So I'm gonna lift it up and I'm gonna try to pop out those eggshells. All right, they are looking good in there. Let's see if we can pop some out and if they stay whole. Just keep going. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They actually look like eggshells. Look at this.
I am actually really impressed with how these shells came out of this mold. Again, this was the cheapest one that I could find on Amazon. I wasn't expecting it to work this well. The only issue that I have, I got the shells nice and thin and they came out, and I only broke one of them. But when you put the two halves together, it's not really a very realistic chicken egg shape. As you can see, it's a little hefty on the bottom side. So what I need to do, and if you use this mold, you need to do, is take a little bit off the bottom, kind of along this angle here. We want it to be a nice straight line, the same way it would be if we cut a chicken egg in half. So it's actually pretty easy to do that. I'm going to heat up a saute pan on very, very low heat, and we're just going to go along that angle and melt it so that we have more of this kind of a shape. And let me show you how to do that. Again, very low heat. I'm putting a non-stick pan on so that I can save all of that chocolate that melts and I can reuse it. And I'm putting my eggshell half on here, but I'm only going to push down on the bottom side that's a little bit too fat for us. So I'm going to push it down and swirl it around. Don't do a whole lot of pressure here or you could crack your eggshell, and just wait for it to melt. But you're going to try to get that angle from the bottom of the shell here, just like that, and then you're going to wait until it melts and meets that very top part of the eggshell so you have a nice straight line, just like this. I'm holding it down, I'm waiting for it to touch. So now we have a more realistic half of a chicken egg kind of shape going on here. And we can put our two halves together and it is a much nicer shape for if you're trying to fool somebody or making something for Easter, maybe an Easter hot cocoa bomb or filling it with candy, that sort of deal. All you need to do is to heat up both of your sides of chocolate shell and stick them together after you put the filling in, or you can pipe some chocolate along the edge and then stick them together. If you want to see how I put them together for my realistic chicken egg that I filled with vegan egg whites and vegan egg yolks, not 100% realistic, but pretty darn close for a vegan egg if I don't say so myself, I will link to that video in the description below, and it should have a little tag at the top of the video here. But this is what you're left with, the eggshell halves that you can put together, and I love how thin these shells came out of the mold, so I do recommend this mold from Amazon. Check out the link in the description if you want it below. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe for more vegan content, and may you and your coffee both be strong.